¡Un forastero!
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at every Resident Evil setting ranked.
Run! Here they come!
Here!
There's so many.
For this list, we'll be looking at the Resident Evil games, mostly the main games and the ones that matter most, and ranking their settings based on their layout, atmosphere, design, and how much fun they are to explore. Which setting in Capcom's horror franchise was your favorite? Sound off down in the comments.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
A bunch of places. Resident Evil 6. There is so much about Resident Evil 6 that is utterly forgettable and mundane, and the same goes with its various locations. Yes, locations. We're going plural here, people. RE6 was all about quantity over quality, and you can see how badly it suffers from that approach. Despite going through so many rooms, corridors, and open areas, everything feels like it was ripped from some other generic game. Wow, a yard of shipping containers. Good golly, it's a street market. Color us impressed.
Train's coming!
Fictional West Africa. Resident Evil 5.
Welcome to Africa. My name is Sheba Alama.
Chris Redfield.
RE5, for all its flaws, does manage to stick out a lot more than its successor. Are there any iconic locations that stick out because of their aesthetic? Is there an area that has ingrained itself into our heads as an iconic location in the game? Not really. However, the set pieces do hold some resonance because of certain moments in the game. You have the dry, hot village in the opening of the game, the temple where you fight Jill and Wesker, the boat chase with that one dude from the Prohibition era. Only problem is that the narrative moments steal the show, and if it wasn't for those, we would have forgotten everything about RE5's location. The Arklay Mountains. Resident Evil 0. RE0 gets a notch over RE5 for one reason and one reason only. And no, it isn't specifically because it's set in the Arklay Mountains. It's because a good chunk of the game is on a train. There's just something really unique about horror and trains that makes them work well together, even in RE0. Perhaps as the different themed coaches all coupled together, mixed with the claustrophobia imposed by their narrow and tight layouts. Oh, we know there's more in the game, but come on, the train is the best part of the whole game. Antarctica and Rockfort Island. Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Your identification number is WKD4496. Welcome to your new home.
Code Veronica was a wonderful treat that gave us two classic settings for horror that we've dreamt of experiencing. Not in reality, mind you. Claire has been captured and isolated in a desolate prison, eventually being let out by an unknown man. Of course, that is only half of the game. You also have the Umbrella facility in Antarctica with its stony architecture, steel doors, and icy walls. We only wish we got a little more time with these areas than we ended up with. The European Village. Resident Evil Village. This creepy settlement was part of the reason why we named Village our 2021 Game of the Year. Not only does it boast a creepy and menacing presence, but it also holds a plethora of secrets to uncover. Hidden treasures, secret passageways, shortcuts into other areas, and of course, that opening shot of Castle Dimitrescu looming over it. The only reason it wound up this low on the list was how it hides the other 4 areas a little too well. Sure, you can see the windmill to Moreau peeking a bit, but Heisenberg's factory and Beneviento Estate don't get as much of a view, do they?
Wait long.
Raccoon City, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and Resident Evil 3 Remake. To finally be able to explore Raccoon City was all we ever wanted from RE3, and we got it. Unfortunately, it's one of those be careful what you wish for moments. We love the place for what it is. You have the city, not too quaint, not too metropolitan, that still shows some age, but it also shows what its life might have been like before the outbreak. It's as if the place is frozen in time forever till it was nuked to hell. The big complaint, really, was how labyrinthian it all felt every now and again. Thank God for the maps. The Baker Plantation, Resident Evil 7. RE7 brought us back to a similar approach as the first game, and we're glad it went back to the basics. Keeping things confined to one small location loaded with mystery can help make your game all the more memorable. Every nook and cranny was crafted to make almost every spot in the Bakers' residence look distinct from each other. And most folks will never forget that unholy dinner or the opening hour spent exploring that disgusting basement. Oh, and there's also Marguerite's disgusting room in the upper levels of the home. No amount of bleach will help you unsee that.
Don't you worry none!
The Spanish Village, Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
The unknown village in rural Spain is forever ingrained in our minds for several reasons. Obviously, the entire mob that attacks you at the start of the game is the most iconic moment. But then, you have areas like the mill where El Gigante awaits you, the minecart ride, Salazar's castle, need we go on? It all melds together quite beautifully for a ride of terror and corny dialogue. Just keep in mind that some segments have been omitted for the remake. Still, both are fantastic in their own ways. Spencer Mansion, Resident Evil, and Resident Evil HD.
But we've got to find...
What was that? Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
Spencer Mansion could have easily taken the #1 spot. After all, this was the location that helped set Resident Evil down the path of success. It's a classic setting for a horror game. Creepy, seemingly abandoned mansion with a pristine look despite the dark secrets it holds. Part of its resonance comes from the fixed camera angles too, as much as we gripe about it every now and again. Just about every angle and every room leaves you dreading what might lie behind every door. So, how come it didn't hit the top of the totem pole for us? Raccoon City Police Department, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Hello? Is anybody here?
RPD is easily the best setting in the entire Resident Evil franchise. What makes this place so special is how it presents its facade. A police station should be a safe place to hide in during a zombie outbreak. Alas, every room reveals a horrific scene, and every scrap of notes or thread of emails show that even a house of justice became corrupted. The tip of the iceberg approach is what made RE2 one of the best games in the franchise, and to this day, it's the sole reason why some of us still play and replay RE2. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.